Hello everyone, welcome to the 5-Minute Discovery Channel. Welcome to the story of Sri Lanka, a gem located in South Asia. Sri Lanka, officially the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, is a charming country with an area of 65,610 square kilometers and a population of about 22 million people. The name, Sri Lanka, comes from Sanskrit, in which Sri means venerable, and Lanka is the ancient name of the island, creating a meaningful and respectful name. For the Chinese, this country is called Ceylon, another name that also contains mysterious and magical images. Sri Lanka is not only famous for its beautiful beaches and historical sites but also for its rich and diverse culture. Let's explore more about this colorful country and feel its charm through each story, custom and natural beauty. Sri Lanka, a beautiful island nation in South Asia, is located just 30 kilometers from the nearest coast of India. If you are not careful, you can easily mistake it for Sri Lanka on the map, but in fact, this is an island with many mysterious stories and rich history. According to ancient legend, the god Brahma created a bridge to connect this island with India. This legendary bridge, once called Adam's Bridge or Panama's Bridge, is now just a strip of limestone and shoals that emerge at low tide. Records from ancient temples indicate that this natural path once existed but was destroyed by a powerful storm in 1480. Sri Lanka is not only famous for its legendary stories but also for its beautiful nicknames. Dubbed the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, this island is honored for its stunning beauty and rich biodiversity. Another nickname for Sri Lanka is the Teardrop of India, due to its distinctive shape on the map, which resembles a teardrop falling from the coast of India. Despite the shape of the island being a pearl, Sri Lanka's terrain consists mainly of flat plains, with mountains appearing only in the south-central part of the island. The combination of natural beauty and historical stories makes Sri Lanka a fascinating and mysterious destination. Sri Lanka, with its most majestic mountain, Mount Sigiriya, standing at 2,524 meters high, is one of the country's most iconic landmarks. Sri Lanka's climate is tropical, with an average year-round temperature of 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. However, the temperature difference between day and night can be small, but in January, when the weather is at its coldest, people in the hilly regions and some other areas often need to wear warm jackets. If you plan to travel to Sri Lanka between November and April, you will have a great chance of witnessing the world's largest animal, the blue whale. Sea tours at this time often offer a 90% chance of seeing these giant creatures in their natural habitat off the coast of Sri Lanka. This is an experience not to be missed for anyone who loves nature and wildlife. In addition to blue whales, Sri Lanka's coastline is also home to many other marine species, such as dolphins, sea turtles and eels. These animals contribute to a rich and diverse marine ecosystem, providing visitors with exciting and memorable experiences. Let Sri Lanka conquer you with its majestic natural beauty and the wonders of the ocean. Sri Lanka, with its striking tropical beauty, stunning beaches and rich cultural heritage, has long attracted international tourists. The country's economy is famous for the production and export of tea, coffee, rubber and coconuts. However, Sri Lanka has also experienced significant hardship. For a time, Sri Lanka's economy saw steady growth. However, a bloody civil war between the Sri Lankan government and separatists, along with natural disasters such as tsunamis and earthquakes, have devastated the country. The 2004 tsunami was particularly devastating in the south and northeast, killing many people, displacing millions, and severely damaging infrastructure and ecosystems. Today, when searching for information about Sri Lanka, you may come across the phrase, bankrupt country. Sri Lanka's finances have become dire, with foreign debt reaching $51 billion. The country had been counting on tourism to help pay its debts, but terrorism and the COVID-19 pandemic have severely damaged the tourism industry and depleted its foreign exchange reserves. A prime example is the $1.12 billion 99-year lease of the Hambantota port to China in 2017. Although the contract was met with skepticism over China's possible military use of the port, Sri Lanka's government has maintained that the port is for commercial use only. The financial situation became even more dire when Sri Lanka's central bank announced in mid-April 2022 that it would be unable to service its foreign debt due to the limited foreign exchange it had to use to import essential goods. This means that Sri Lanka, with a GDP of just $81 billion in 2021, is no longer able to service its massive $51 billion debt. Sri Lanka is still facing major challenges, but the country continues to work to recover and rebuild from the hardships it has endured. The Sri Lankan flag is not only a national symbol but also an ancient work of art, containing many layers of meaning and profound cultural traditions. This flag, with its rich history, stands out for its combination of colors and images with profound symbolic meanings. The center of the flag is the image of a golden lion, symbolizing the strength and courage of the Sri Lankan people. The lion, with a sword in its hand, represents not only bravery but also the sovereignty and freedom of the nation. The four leaves at the corners of the flag are reminiscent of the strong influence of Buddhism, an integral part of the country's cultural and historical heritage. The colors of the flag also reflect the diversity of ethnic groups in Sri Lanka. Red and yellow mainly represent the Sinhalese community, while green and orange represent other ethnic groups. This combination not only creates a colorful image but also represents the harmony and unity among the different ethnic groups in Sri Lankan society. Looking at the Sri Lankan flag, you not only see a national symbol but also feel the harmony of history, religion and national culture. This is a living testament to the richness and diversity of a country, and is also an inspiration for all those who love to learn about cultures around the world. The history of Sri Lanka is a fascinating symphony of civilizations and wars, creating a fascinating story of the island's upheaval and development. Since ancient times, Sri Lanka has been an important trading center, ruled by various states. The island has faced many invasions from the kingdoms of southern India, but has maintained an important position on the ancient world trade map. Merchant ships from the Middle East, Persia, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia have come here one after another, making Sri Lanka a bustling trading post. When European explorers began their journeys to Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka attracted their attention. In the early 16th century, Portuguese colonists arrived on the island. At that time, Sri Lanka was divided into 3 different states. Although most of Sri Lanka fell into the hands of European powers and became colonies, the hill country with its capital Kandy remained independent for a long time. In 1796, the British East India Company completed its conquest of the island and declared Sri Lanka a British colony in 1802, changing its name to Ceylon, a name it retained until independence in 1948. In 1972, the official name was changed to Sri Lanka, reflecting its rich cultural and historical background. Sri Lanka's turbulent history has not only shaped the country's diverse culture but also created a unique blend of religions. Although Buddhism is the official religion, Sri Lanka also has large communities of Christians, Muslims and Hindus. This not only enriches Sri Lanka's cultural landscape but also contributes to a diverse and harmonious society. Sri Lanka's history is a living testament to the blending of cultures and the resilience of its people in maintaining their identity. It is a place where the heroic pages of history are not only recorded in history books but also live on in the lives and souls of its people today. Sri Lanka, a gem of South Asia, is a melting pot of cultural and linguistic diversity, with an outstanding education system and impressive literacy rates. The country is predominantly Sinhalese, comprising around 75% of the population, but is also home to Tamil, Moorish, Burgher, and other indigenous ethnic groups. Sinhala and Tamil are the 2 official languages of Sri Lanka, while English is spoken by around 10% of the population, primarily in education, science, and commerce. Sri Lanka boasts one of the highest literacy rates in South Asia, with over 96% of the population able to read and write. This is no coincidence. Sri Lanka's free education system is the foundation for people, even in the most remote rural areas, to gain access to basic knowledge and skills. Supported by schools built by the government and religious organizations, students are not only educated in a modern curriculum but also exposed to religious values. Sri Lanka's commitment to education has created a generation of intelligent and multicultural people, ready to conquer the challenges of the modern world. These efforts have not only improved the quality of life but also affirmed the important role of education in promoting development and peace in society. Sri Lanka, with its strong education system and respect for cultural diversity, is a shining example for other countries in the region and around the world, demonstrating that investment in education is the key to opening the door to a bright future. Adams Peak, locally known as Sri Pada, is a mountain over 2,200 meters high located in central Sri Lanka. Notable for its giant rock formation on top, it is not just a high mountain but also has a deep religious significance, becoming a sacred pilgrimage site in the country. Sri Pada, also known as Sacred Footprint, is a place where many legends and religious beliefs converge. According to Buddhist beliefs, this is the footprint of Buddha when he visited Sri Lanka. Hindus believe that the footprint belongs to Lord Shiva. For many others, it is the footprint of Adam, who was expelled from the Garden of Eden, or even some believe that Sri Lanka is the legendary Garden of Eden. This mountain attracts pilgrims not only from all over Sri Lanka but also from other countries around the world. Mysterious stories and religious legends have turned Adam's Peak into a mysterious, fascinating place and a sacred belief in the hearts of many people. One of the must-see attractions in Sri Lanka is the Temple of the Tooth Relic, a sacred Buddhist temple that houses a precious relic of the Buddha. This relic, a tooth of the Buddha, was brought to Sri Lanka from India in the 4th century AD and is now carefully preserved in the Temple of the Tooth Relic, located within the grounds of the royal palace of the ancient kingdom of Kandy. The Temple of the Tooth Relic is not only a place of worship but also plays an important role in the history and politics of Sri Lanka. According to legend, whoever holds this sacred relic will have the right to rule the country. This has made the Temple of the Tooth Relic the center of many political and religious events throughout the ages. Every day, 3 times in the morning, noon and evening, solemn ceremonies are performed to honor the relic. But the most special and attractive thing is the procession of the Tooth Relic, a spectacular and colorful event. During this festival, large parades with thousands of performers dressed in traditional Sri Lankan costumes and dozens of elephants participate in the sacred procession. The highlight of the festival is when the elephant carrying the sacred relic moves through the streets. All the people bow their heads, remove their hats and silently express their deep respect. This scene not only brings respect for the relic but also creates a solemn and emotional atmosphere, making the festival an unforgettable cultural and religious experience. In Sri Lanka, there is a tree that is considered to be the oldest man-made tree in the world, and it has a mysterious and impressive story behind it. This tree is a sacred fig tree, called the Dharmapala tree. Legend has it that the Buddha once sat leaning on a similar tree to attain enlightenment. So this fig tree, planted in 288 BC, is not just a tree but a sacred symbol, closely linked to the Buddha's legacy and spirit. The Dharmapala tree was grown from a branch of the Bodhi tree under which the Buddha attained enlightenment, and became one of the closest living links to him. To protect the tree from destruction, kings and monks built fences, irrigation canals and walls around it over the centuries. Despite facing many challenges such as storms, natural attacks and even intentional vandals, the tree has stood firm and continues to be a symbol of endurance and sacredness. Today, the Dharmapala tree is not only a historical monument but also a pilgrimage destination, attracting Buddhists from all over the world who come to experience the sacredness and endurance of the tree over the centuries. Sri Lanka is famous for a precious specialty, tea. The country is one of the largest tea producers in the world, and Sri Lankan tea, commonly known as Ceylon tea, has earned a global reputation for its superior quality and distinctive flavor. In the late 19th century, when British explorers were searching for new lands to grow tea, they discovered Sri Lanka as an ideal place to grow the plant. The ideal climate with fertile soil, abundant sunlight and abundant rainfall has created an ideal environment for growing tea without the use of chemical fertilizers. This gives Sri Lankan tea a refreshing and pure flavor. Sri Lankans have adopted the traditional tea picking technique, combining 2 leaves and 1 bud, which helps preserve the natural flavor of the tea. Traditional processing techniques also play an important role in keeping the tea's flavor fresh and distinctive. One of the world's most famous tea brands, Lipton, also originated in Sri Lanka. In the late 19th century, Sir Thomas Lipton, a British grocer, purchased 5,500 acres of tea plantations in the highlands of Sri Lanka and began exporting tea directly to his stores in England. This was the beginning of a revolution in the tea industry, making tea popular among all classes of society. Sir Thomas Lipton believed that tea should not be enjoyed only by the wealthy, but by everyone. Today, the Lipton brand remains one of the leading names in the global tea industry, and Sri Lankan tea continues to be loved around the world for its superior quality and the variety of flavors it offers. Finally, one interesting and unique thing about Sri Lanka that you should know is the way people shake their heads. While in many cultures, shaking your head from side to side usually indicates disagreement, in Sri Lanka, this action has the exact opposite meaning. Here, shaking your head is considered a way to show agreement. So, if you have the opportunity to visit Sri Lanka, remember that shaking your head can be interpreted in a different way and can cause unfortunate misunderstandings. Thank you for watching this interesting story about Sri Lanka, a beautiful country with unique cultures and also facing many challenges. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell and share it with your friends. Goodbye and see you in the next interesting stories.